Hello, you are welcome once again to YouCan Dynamics Media. In this tutorial, we are going to continue with our tools in Adobe Photoshop. In our previous tutorials, we started with the tools in Adobe Photoshop and we've discussed the tools that are found from here right up to here. And in this tutorial, we are finishing or running up with our tools in Adobe Photoshop. So without wasting much time, let's get started. The first tool we are starting with is the horizontal type tool. The horizontal type tool adds horizontal type. So it's so simple. You can go here and click on this drop-down menu and choose any font at all that you want. Select any font that you want, and you can come here and play with the size of the font or the font size. You can increase or decrease your font size right here, as you can see. And you can come here and change your font color to any color at all that you want. So if I want black, I just click and select and then come here and click OK. I can then come and type whatsoever I want to type. So assuming I want to type this, after I'm done, I'll just go here and tick, and that's it. It will create a layer for me in the layers panel. Okay, that's it for the horizontal type tool. Let's move to our next tool. Our next tool is the vertical type tool. The vertical type tool adds vertical type. So it's just like the horizontal type tool, but just that the vertical type tool, instead of horizontal type, it is giving us a vertical type. So with just same steps, you can choose any font size you want, you can choose any font type, and you can choose any font color. And I can click and type this. If you are done, you just go and tick, and it will create a new layer in the layers panel or in the layers tab for you. So simple and amazing. Okay, let's move to our next tool. Our next tool is the vertical type mask tool. Vertical type mask tool. I'd like to change my image. Okay, so the vertical type mask tool creates a selection in the shape of a vertical type. It creates a selection in the shape of a vertical type. So with same procedure, you can change your font type, you can change your font size, and you can change the font color. Or you can just ignore, just click on this, and assuming I want to type God. After you are done with your type, you go and tick. When you tick, it will create a selection for you, as you can see, and you can do a couple of things with it. You can create a mask, you can add a layer mask to this, or you can go to select, and then you select transform selection, and that will allow you to move your selection to anywhere you want, and you can also transform your selection, as you can see. Okay, so after you are done, you click on the tick, and then you can hit delete or backspace on your keyboard. And as you can see, then you press Ctrl D to deselect. And that's, as you can see, it has created a cut for you. Very nicely, very amazing, and very interesting. So that's it for the vertical type mask tool. Our next tool is the horizontal type mask tool. The horizontal type mask tool is the same as the vertical type mask tool, just that one is in the vertical form and one is in the horizontal form. So we will not waste time on it. Let's move to our next tool. Our next tool is the path selection tool. The path selection tool. Okay, the path selection tool selects a whole path. So assuming I choose my pen tool, click P on the keyboard to select my pen tool, and I make any path like this. With the help of my path selection tool, I can move this path, this whole path, anywhere I want. Just left click and drag. Even if you click or you left click on the point, it will still move the whole path, as you can see. So that's the use of the path selection tool. It selects a whole path. Okay. Let's move to the next tool. Our next tool is the direct selection tool. The direct selection tool selects the individual points and segments of a path. It selects the individual points and segments of a path. So I can just click on this anchor point and drag. And you see the difference is that this time it is not moving the whole path, but it is moving a point and then the segment of a path. So with the help of the direct selection tool, you can move any anchor point or any segment of a path. Okay, let's move to our next tool. Our next tool is the rectangle tool. So we are moving to the shape tools or the shapes. Our next tool is the rectangle tool. The rectangle tool draws rectangle. So assuming I want to draw any rectangle at all, I can come for the rectangle tool and you can fill it with any color you want. Come to the fill, click on it, and then choose any color at all that you want. And I can come here, left click, and drag. And as you can see, it has drawn my rectangle for me. Or you can add a stroke to your rectangle or your shape. A stroke or simply a border. So you can come here and increase the pixels of the stroke. For this shape here, the pixel is 0. If you want to create the shape with a stroke or a border, you can just come here and increase the pixels of the stroke. And as you can see, it has created some strokes around our shape or some borders around our shape for us. And you can choose any color for the stroke. Just click on it and you can come and select here. That's it. And you have your shape with a stroke around it. Or this is a rectangle, but if you want to create a perfect square from the rectangle tool, you can just hold Shift on your keyboard and left click and drag, and it will create a perfect square for you. So if you want to create a perfect square out of the rectangle tool, hold Shift, left click and drag, and it will create a perfect square for you. Okay, that's it for the rectangle tool. Let's move to the next tool, the rounded rectangle tool. The rounded rectangle tool draws a round-edged rectangles. So can just left click and as you can see, it has drawn a round-edged rectangle for me. With this same tool, you can also add stroke to it, and depending on how round you want the edge to be, you can play with the edge of the rectangle by increasing or decreasing the tools. If you decrease by increasing or decreasing the radius here. If you decrease the radius, the roundness of the edge is going to decrease. And if you increase it to, it's going to increase how round the rectangle will be. So I can just increase the radius. I can just go and select or increase my stroke. As you can see, it was giving me a new rounded rectangle, but as you can see, this is having a very round edge as compared to the previous one. And in the same way, if I want to create a rounded square, if I want to create a round edged square, hold Shift on the keyboard, left click and drag. And as you can see, it has created a round edge square for you. Okay. Let's move to our next tool. Our next tool is the Ellipse Tool. The Ellipse Tool draws ellipses. The Ellipse Tool draws ellipses. So you can just left click and drag and it will give you an ellipse. In the same way, if you want to draw a perfect square, hold Shift on your keyboard, left click and drag, and that will give you a perfect square. So if you want to create or draw a perfect square out of the Ellipse Tool, just hold Shift on your keyboard, left click and drag, and it will give you a perfect square. Okay. Let's move to our next tool. Our next tool is the Polygon Tool. The Polygon Tool draws polygon. So you can come here and select any side of the polygon you want. Assuming I want a three-sided polygon, I can just choose 3 or select 3 and then come here and draw. And as you can see, it has given me a triangle, which is a polygon, three-sided polygon. Okay. If I want something like a size like 10, maybe I want a size like 10, I can just input my 10, left click and drag, and as you can see, it has given me a 10-sided polygon. So that's it for the polygon tool. And then let's move to the line tool. Okay, the line tool draws lines. That's it. And you can play with the pixels of the weight by coming here. I have 50 pixels here for the weight, so I can draw a 50 pixel line, and then I can also decrease the weight to 2 pixels, and it will give me a 2 pixel line. So depending on the kind of pixels you want, you can just increase or decrease the pixels of the weight here. So that's it for the line tool. It draws lines. Our next tool is the custom shape tool. The custom shape tool. The custom shape tool draws shapes from a custom shape list. It draws shapes from a custom shape list. So come here to the shapes, click on the drop-down menu, and select any shape that you want. You can select any shape for the leaf trees or for animals. So if I select this, can just come here, and remember that one too, you can fill it with any color. Can just click on the fill and then select any color at all you want. Okay, so I can come here, left click and drag, and as you can see, it has given me some anchor points that you can play around to give a different shape at all. So I can go and select my direct selection tool, and then I can just click and drag any of the anchor points, and it will give me entirely a different shape. Okay, so let me choose another shape. If I want this animal, can just left click, drag, and it will be surrounded, the edges will be surrounded by anchor point. I can go and select my direct selection tool, can drag, to play with any of the parts to create an entirely different shape. Okay, so that's it for the custom shape tool. The next on the list is the hand tool. The hand tool. The hand tool pans over different parts of an image. The hand tool pans over different parts of an image. So assuming I press Ctrl and then plus key to zoom in like this. Assuming I have zoomed in like this, and I want to see the other parts of the image where it's not currently not seen because I've zoomed in. So with the help of the hand tool, I can just click and move or drag my image around like this, move my hand over that image just like that. So that is the use of the hand tool. The next on the list is the rotate view tool. The rotate view tool. The rotate view tool rotates the view of an image. It rotates the view of an image. So this right here, if I want to rotate this one, with the help of the rotate view tool, I'll just left click like this, left click and drag, left click and drag like that. And we can just come here, click on reset view, and just reset your view for you. And assuming you want this, here is the rotation angle. So assuming you want to get every tilt that you make, you want to just get a 15 degrees increment. You just hold shift on your keyboard, left click, and then as you can see, once you hold shift on your keyboard and left click, any move that you make is a 15-degree rotation. Can just move again, and it will move from 50 to 30. So once you hold shift and then you left click, any rotation you make will be an increase of 15 degrees rotation. Okay. Can just go to reset view, click on it, and then it will reset your view for you. So basically that is the use of the rotate view tool. The next tool is the zoom tool. The zoom tool magnifies or reduces the view of an image. The zoom tool magnifies or reduces the view of an image. So with my zoom tool selected, I can just come to my image, just click, just be zooming in, just clicking on the image, and it will be zooming in. And if you want to reduce or decrease or zoom out, you just hold Alt on your keyboard, Alt or Option on your keyboard, and click, 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 and it will be reducing for you. Or if you don't want to do it that way, you can just increase or decrease the magnification here by selecting the tools here. If you want the magnification to increase, the default is the one with the plus inside here, and as you click on it, it will magnify the image. If you don't want to hold Alt or Option to reduce or to zoom out, you can just come here, select the one with the minus. When you click on it, it will just zoom out or demagnify the image for you. Okay. We have some tools right here. This tool is the default foreground and background colors. So if you want to set, this is our foreground color here, and this is our background color, which is the default. So assuming I change this foreground color to something like blue, and then if I want to change this to the default foreground and background color, I just come here, click on this little icon here, and just change it to the default. As you can see, it has changed it from blue back to black. So by clicking on this, it will change the foreground and the background color to the default. And with this little icon here, if you want to switch the colors, or if you want to switch the foreground and the background color, just click on this And as you can see, it has switched the foreground and then background color. You can just click on it again and it will switch for you. So we will end here. Thank you very much for your time. And please, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please become a part of this family by subscribing to our channel and hit on the notification bell in order to get notified of every video we upload. And if you enjoyed this tutorial, please give us a like. Thank you very much and see you in our next tutorial. God bless you.